Welcome back to Mid-Ohio and our last live stream of the 2019 season. You can see behind me some of the cars lining up here in pre-grid, but what you missed is the fact that it dumped rain while we were on that break. We have a little bit of a clear spot now, but they're expecting it to come back in another 30 to 45 minutes. So for right now, I'm gonna send you back up to Bucky and Andrew.
It did rain. It rained probably. You can see from behind us here how greasy the track is. Me and Bucky actually just brought the hire car around, and it's super slick because Bucky, even the tarmac section of this track, particularly the traditional turn one of the long course, the rubber is down. So they're not even going to get good grip on the tarmac.
No, you won't. As you saw driving the course, we were driving the same course basically, and in a rental car, it was not even hooking. I mean, we were running ABS.
We were cruising around. We were cruising around 15 miles an hour, and you're picking up understeer in the corner. So it's very green, the track. There's rubber down from before. There's mud down from today. Could not be trickier. It does mean it's wide open. The championships are settled. People are going to send it, and they're going to go for the win, so stay with us. Now, if you missed what happened before it was raining, here's a look back at Q4. So Tanner Faust needed to secure the championship by just finishing this session, and Bucky is back straight out.
Yeah, he said no cheese in this sandwich, thank you. I'm going to back out. I'm going to play it safe.
There we go, no cheese in this sandwich. That's Tanner Faust's quote of the year for you, Bucky Lasek. Yeah, he took it steady. So Pete Coy in front of him at the merge. These guys, though, did not take it steady. There was a great race out front.
Yeah, Picoy is not holding back. He dives here on the inside.
That was a great move.
Yeah, and Atkinson said, no, we'll just take that right back there, young lad.
Up comes Bigham on the merge. Bigham and Atco side by side. So we had a clean race line, and this was them over the line. It was so close between them. Tanner Faust P4, but that was enough to secure him the ARX title. Steve Arpin on the outside of 3 Subarus, an absolutely brilliant start. Not quite enough to be where he would like to have been, and still he got round the outside of Andreas Backerud. So great job by Arpin, really
great
super
job
fast.
Hanging out there on the outside and making the move that no one's made so far.
So these are the standings at the end of qualifying. It was Faust with 16 championship points, securing him the 2019 America's Rallycross title. Chris Atkinson, P2. Then it was Bigham, Peacoy, Weeman, Backerud, Sandell, and Steve Arpin. So that's, in theory, how they split. I have to say, I don't think that's right, I'm afraid, because I think Weeman was top of the table and Faust was going to be pole in semi-final 2. So I think we've got a slight issue with our points machine, and apologies for that. As I say, it has been raining quite heavily here. So, yeah, Faust, I think, was P2, and Weeman got the TQ, if I remember from the earlier stream. So there you go. We'll just read what's on the screen, so apologies, guys. It's going to be, it's going to be very exciting indeed. We've got Fraser McConnell coming up in the first of the ARX 2 semi-finals. He secured his title. It's a weird one when they secure it in qualifying because you don't get the big celebration, particularly because, Bucky, they don't want to do things like wind the diffs up with a load of donuts when you've got 2 races to go.
Right, yeah, you want to take care of your equipment. And I'm actually watching the safety truck out there now drive the course, and it looks like he's making a Ford truck commercial.
Can we see the safety car maybe? It's up on turn 3 at the minute. We need to wait until he gets to the dirt section, ideally. He was just sideways at about 5 miles an hour, which is how we discovered this morning that the track was. Let's see what lap he takes. Whether he's going to go standard lap or joker lap. Round the long left-hander Bucky. He's going to go to the inside. Okay, watch this. In all seriousness, watch this. This is a standard road, four-wheel drive. It's off camber, and I want you to watch how little grip there is. So he's got terminal understeer on the way in. If he manages to turn it in at all, it will start to slide.
He's
going to go the other way.
Okay.
So he's turning off the other way, but it is super slippery. And as I say, that this morning is actually how we discovered how slippery it was. One of the safety trucks went off the track very slowly, 10 mile an hour, not doing anything stupid. And they were like, okay, we're going to need to look at the track. So they went out, they did a track inspection. They gave the drivers extra laps of morning warm-up, which is unheard of for professional drivers, but they felt it was necessary because of how slippery the dirt here is. So good decision by the organisers and by USAC, sanctioning body. Safety always paramount. Yes, the lap times are going to be a lot slower, but the win is still up for grabs, and we can expect it to get quicker and quicker as the racing goes on. Time for semi-final number 1 in the final round of ARX 2. It's Fraser McConnell and Sage Karam on the front row. And row 2, Gray Ledbetter and Lane Vakela. So 2 definite races here. Ledbetter and Vakela have been on similar pace. Up front, Fraz has had to give second best to Sage Karam here all weekend. But Fraz, of course, has had a championship on his mind. The Dirtfish driver has now secured the driver's title, so he can go a bit harder if he wants to. Sage Karam's been unbeatable, but he hasn't been behind anybody, and he's going to be behind now because Sage Karam has had a dreadful start. So Sage Karam behind Lane Vakela and with Gray Ledbetter up alongside. Good start by Fraser McConnell. Fraz coming through the long left-hander, understeer through there. Now watch as they feel for the grip, and Karam goes straight to the Joker. Oh, he's got terminal understeer. He's almost in the wall. Keep it tidy. Keep it tidy. So here they have to wait on the throttle, and I think you're going to find the Joker laps quicker than the standard lap. Watch for Sage Karam. Here he goes. So now, Bucky, this would... Oh, Ledbetter.
Over-under there by Gray and Lane.
Undercuts Lane Vakela, so this is the brakes down the bottom. Now for me, Bucky, if Fraz can't get through here, and he might do, Fraser McConnell tiptoeing his way round, he has to respond on the next lap, because Sage Karam's going to feel that understeer in that corner as well, and Fraz can respond by undercutting him on the Joker. We've got our penalties back to how they were earlier today. If you Joker more than once, you get a 30-second penalty, because the Joker is potentially in these conditions quicker than the standard lap.
You're absolute right, Andrew, and hopefully Sage's spotter would have seen and looked at how Fraz handled that inside lane and is going to get his driver to slow down a little bit more.
He runs wide. Now this is giving Fraz clues, you see, because he's able to watch what's happening with Sage Karam in front. There are calls, aren't there, in pace notes which you can use, which is, you know, like things like walking pace, and it sounds ridiculous, but when you're in a rally car and you come up to a junction, there's no grip at all. You need the co-driver to remind you, like parking pace, walking pace.
So Fraz peels off into the Joker. Hopefully he keeps it nice and tight on the inside. It's a faster line.
Yeah, but
and Sage does push out. Yeah, Sage made a big mistake there as well, and so does Fraz a little bit, but he's going to get a good run.
Run it out wide, and he's got him back, so there you go. You see the Joker lap is dead. I wouldn't say there's much in the lap, Bucky, but the exit speed of the Joker is a lot more than the standard lap.
Well, this is where Fraz's rally driving skill is going to really pay off for him.
Oh, Ledbetter's dropped it on the brakes on the way into the standard lap. I'll tell you what, 6 laps, we could have done 4 of these and it still would have been a similar pace. We're around a minute for a lap. It was slower than that, wasn't it, this morning? Considerably slower than that. So it's not quite as slippery as it was first thing this morning. Oh, and there's the tyre bale. So the tyre bale is in the middle of the track, in the corner at the bottom of the hill. We didn't see who clipped that, whether it was Lane Vakela or Gray Ledbetter. Ledbetter is jokered. Vakela hasn't. They're in front of us. No, there goes Lane Vakela. And they're literally crawling round. They are crawling round, trying to find some traction.
Yeah, I see a bit of damage to Gray's car, but I'm not sure if she did that in turn 1 there.
That's as Gray comes past us in commentary. Look at Fraz on the way into the hairpin. So this time Bucky's trying to rotate it early. Once the car does need to go sideways here so he can face it forward, and he's picked up understeer. He waits for the car to oversteer, and again, oversteer, understeer. Look at Sage behind the same thing. You want the car facing almost, don't you, towards the Cooper tyres, branding on the inside.
Yes, as early as you can, and it's as a tarmac driver like Sage, it's going to be very difficult to do that early initiation. And here, Fraz got crossed up on a little Scandi flick in this dirt section. I think it might be safer for him just to drive it in, flick a little handbrake, get the car rotated, keep it safe and not so big.
So not setting it up from a long way back on the brakes, bring it in tidy and then nip the bar in the mid-corner.
Yes. Don't go for the full send.
Yeah, because if you can't, the other thing is that sometimes, Bucky, when you go to transition a car, if there isn't enough grip, you do the first part of the transition and it doesn't come back.
Sage has figured it out. Sage really reeled him in on the tarmac. I think unavoidable contact possibly, but we'll see about the conditions playing part in this decision here at the Stewarts.
Fraser McConnell now having a look back at Sage Karam. They both hook a wheel over the grass on the inside. This is anyone's though. We've still got 3 laps to go. This is crazy.
Look at the pace that Sage just picked up on. Oh, he's going into the wall. He's going. Oh,
Sage Karam's dropped it to the outside. Has he found some grip in that dirt on the outside?
Yeah,
Fraser
he's on the
McConnell
grass.
Watching him. Fraser McConnell's going to wait on the throttle. It's like slow motion passing. This is crazy. Sage Karam somehow holds on, having gone in deep. Fraser McConnell might have a look up the inside here. It wouldn't be a bad place to have a go. He needs Sage to drop it on the brakes and run a bit wide. Oh, but this is the slipperiest conditions I think I've ever seen in a rallycross race.
Yeah, I've never seen it like this. Any worse, I think they would have to cancel the race because the cars wouldn't move.
It's crazy. I actually think the guys in the ARX 3 cars, who you may have seen over on Sierra Car's Facebook channel just before this, I think they did a great job, Bucky. With two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive in those buggies, this would have just been so hard.
No, and look at Sage. Is really, I mean, Sage's pace through this section of the track is unmatchable by the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's figured something out, hasn't he? That was where Sage Karam put the pass on Fraser McConnell on the previous lap. And Sage will now be a bit more careful when he gets up to the corner at the top of the hill. So let's see what he does on the brakes this time. Is he going to run it out deep again and use the loose stuff?
He's in the grass. He is in the grass.
But he's using it. I think he's found grip out there, Bucky.
He absolutely has. He's able to slow the car down in the grass. But then, let's see, yeah, he's found something there.
He's basically coming in wide and deep in the sticky mud, using the sticky mud to rotate the car, and then he does the rotation early in the corner. Doesn't he? Look at Fraser closing him down, though, on the run down the hill. Sage, though's just got to brake early. Keep it in on that apex. Fraser, though, tighter this time. At the minute, I mean, this is just crazy. He runs out wide. The 2.4-second gap between them, but it's changing in different sectors. Fraz seems to have the backside of the track licked a little better than the front.
Right.
Here comes Sage. So this is the bit where you think Sage is really quick. What's he doing?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out. It just seems like he's carrying more momentum through here. Let's see if he dips. No, I mean, he's just driving the normal line.
Well,
maybe he's found it by going into this grass on the entry on the normal lap, not taking the joker here. I think he's found more pace in the grass. So he's able to get more bite.
Looking at our laptops. Here we go. Watch this. Look, and Fraz going to go. So Fraz doesn't. You see, I think Fraz is maybe he's missing a trick there. If he was watching Sage's lines, you see what I mean about Sage has rotated the car early, and now it's pointing more down the hill. Whereas Fraz is, but then Fraz has found traction this time. Fraser McConnell's going to try and come past Sage Karam. Oh, contact between them. Nothing you can do about that for me. Sage Karam's been spun around, but I wonder if the stewards will take any action on that. Sage spins the car back round J-turn style. Yes, Sage, that's going to get you Hollywood movie business, that is. Sage Karam going to come down the back straight to try and find a way past Fraser McConnell. To be fair to Fraser, I don't think there's anything to do, but Sage is not happy. Bucky, you can't really... Oh, OK, it's already under investigation.
Yeah.
Sage Karam's going to come up the inside of Fraser McConnell in the last corner. They're racing to the line.
He's broke for sure. I can't believe he survived that hit.
0.037. So that is 307 thousandths between them in the direction of Fraser McConnell. But let's be honest, even if they give him a 5-second penalty, he's only going to drop down to P2, because at the minute, Lane Vakela is 25 seconds off these two, and Gray Ledbetter 44 back. And the thing is, that doesn't mean they're doing any worse than they normally do. It's just that the conditions are so much harder that the gap is being magnified. They're really hard for these youngsters. They're learning it.
And these guys had each other to race with. They were side by side the whole time.
Yes, drags you along a bit.
Yeah, so they were able to kind of watch each other and see how the cars are reacting in front and try to find something that works for them.
So Fraser McConnell has taken the victory in semi-final number 1, the ARX2 champion for 2019, but are the stewards going to step in? If they do, I suspect it will be a 5-second penalty just to reverse the positions with him and Sage Karam, because I don't think they could say that was unavoidable contact, Bucky. That's the other thing, is there's a difference between if he dropped it on the brakes and just fired him off, but he was actually fully alongside him when he hit him. So we'll have to take a look at the replays, but it's not necessarily unavoidable, is it?
I believe there was probably some issues with the
sideways.
Yeah,
it's just too slippery.
Just grip.
Fraser McConnell takes it 7 minutes 21.3 for a semi-final. Sage Karam is P2, and then we've got Lane Vakela and Gray Ledbetter. So this is the start, look. Bad start for Sage Karam. Gray Ledbetter gets a great start. They go round the outside. So Ledbetter gets the undercut on Vakela. Karam gets the undercut on Fraz. Fraz then goes joker on the very next lap. So watch this. Now Fraser's going to get a good exit. So Fraser, in fact, ran wide, but look, he just straightens squares the car up and in fact, that was ideal, and maybe did that on purpose. Say he runs wide, he might have gone down and just straightened it for the exit. This was the point at which Karam got. You could argue, to be fair, that Karam's contact there was, and it may be, of course, maybe that's the contact that's under investigation,
so.
Bucky.
That was the first one that I thought was under investigation.
In which case, for me, you could say both of them have done something which is slightly dubious. You have to leave them both. What do you reckon? No point giving them both a 5-second penalty.
It's a wash, maybe.
So we need to see the moment at which Fraz has got the extra grip on the exit. And it's so hard to figure this out. This was another lap where Karam's gone out onto that grass. I mean, when do you go to the grass for grip? Look at this, though. Fraz gets the grip, comes past it, over the jump, look. Don't know what I think about that. What do you reckon?
Sage might have had some right hand, might have been turning right to get into his braking zone right here. So he might have been slightly kind of steering to the right.
Well, a bit of contact between them twice. It's under investigation, but I'm pretty sure we'll see them both in the final.
Fraz, it looks like you're driving in slow motion out there.
No, it's probably the slowest race I've ever had to do. I think my fast-footed friend Usain Bolt could have ran that faster. But no, it was good fun. Really tricky to be so patient with the car and get it turned, but it's like driving on ice out there. It's terrible.
And some of your rally career coming back and helping you a bit there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, control was really important there, but yeah, just being patient was the greatest thing, and listening to my spotter with everything. So it was a good race. I had fun.
Great. Well, we'll see you later then.
Really, really hard work. I say there was 0.037 was the gap between them when they crossed the line. Timing screen says just over here. What lap times are we looking at? But they varied so much, Bucky. Look at the times. Like Fraz has done like a 1:17 and a 1:18 in the middle.
1:13's pretty consistently in the end.
So Fraz actually, his middle two laps were 1:18s, which was 3 seconds slower than Sage Karam was doing. His last two laps were 1:13s, which was 2 seconds faster than Sage Karam was doing. So these guys were finding different bits of grip on different parts of the circuit.
Now, I wonder if any of this information is going to be passed on to the other teammates.
I would have thought so for Sage Karam. Dreyer and Reinbold Racing have got Cole Keats and Connor Martell
both on
in
the
this
front
next
line
one.
here.
Yeah, so it'll have gone back to them for sure. Watch the truck in here and you get an idea again of the grip levels. On the exit, it's just super sideways. To be honest, I reckon you'd get round quicker in that pickup truck there, but of course that's running, that'll be running what we call knobbly tyres, Bucky. So if they were running a gravel rally tyre here, they'd have more grip, but that's not what we do in Rallycross. They run the same tyre.
Cooper has that tyre too.
Yeah, but it would cut up the track. Rally tyres cut the track up so harsh that no track would survive a weekend of Rallycross action. So we use the Rallycross tyre. They have a slick and they have a wet. They have one compound of each. They have 8 of each tyre in condition. So today they would have used some dries and some wets. So they're probably all on new wets at this point.
Yeah, and then they're slotted 8 tyres for this race weekend, but that won't include the rain tyres.
No, so exactly. So they should all be on the same decent new boots, basically. They would have used some this morning, as I say, in free practice and potentially in Q1, maybe even in Q2. But very, very tricky conditions for these guys. They would love an outright mud tyre right now or a gravel tyre, but they're not allowed that. They're all on the same tyres. It's the same for everyone. It's that Control Cooper wet tyre, which is a great piece of kit. This track is super slippery. Stay with us. So if you have a look to the back left of the grid, where Alex Keys, you can't see it right now, but Keys is slightly further back to the left. And behind Keys is, we think, Patrick Sandell. It's one of the Subaru drivers. Our cameraman, the car number 4, which is to the right on the pre-grid. You'll see there's a guy in a blue suit. It's just the car that's just pulled away, and just to his left is a guy in a blue suit. We're trying to find him for you now.
Get the camera. There he is in the background underneath the arches.
Yeah, he's in the middle of your picture now. So he's in the middle of the arch right now.
And what he's going to be doing, that is Patrick Sandell. He's going to be looking.
He's walking back now.
Any information he can gather off of this.
I don't know what information
I think he found something. Or...
It was funny this morning. Steve Arpin pulled his car up at 90 degrees to the pre-grid, sat in the car. There he goes, Sandell walking back. He sat in the car and he watched the free practice on the screen. So the timing screens, there's one screen which has the same pictures you guys see at home, and there's one screen which is the timing screen, and that's in these little black boxes which are at the side of the track. So what's he going to say? So he's heading back across to one of the Subaru engineers. He's probably just going to say, do you know what? There we go, look, yeah, non-committal nod. Oh, yeah, maybe, mate, yeah. Super tricky. Semi-final 2 for ARX 2, round 9. Cooper tyres, ARX of Mid-Ohio. Cole Keats and Conor Martell on the front row. They're running for Dry and Reinbold Racing. Will they have had any information come back from their teammate Sage Karam? And then we've got Alex Keys and Michael Leach. Leach having a much better day than yesterday. Good to see Keys back out. We saw Keys with some problems. I think, did he retire twice today? Let me check my...
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he had a DNF.
Twice.
Yeah, 2 DNFs. But yesterday he got a podium, having not done any of qualifying. This is super slippery. Who's going to get away best? So Martell has got the best start he's had all day there. Conor Martell versus Cole Keats on the run to turn 1. Cole Keats is still on the inside. Martell won't get a turn in across him. Michael Leach around the outside of Alex Keys. Leach drops into 4th almost. A little bit of contact with Keys. They're sideways onto the dirt. Keys goes to the standard lap, and both Martell and Keats have gone joker. Keats was sideways on the way in. You can see there, Keys really feeling for the grip, Bucky.
Martell's looking good through that joker. He kept it a little bit tighter than Keats. I don't know if he was visually able to gain from any of Keats' actions, but he's gapped him pretty good here.
Keats is way too late on the brakes, though. Martell a little bit early on. Alex Keys has got past Look at Martell's front end.
Where did that happen?
As he collected the tyre bale on the left-hand side of the track, so Martell has absolutely stoved in the bodywork on the front of his ARX2 car. Bucky, that doesn't look like contact with the car, and he's broken the car, surely. He's on a go, so he can't see anything. Look at his wipers.
He can't see anything.
So he cannot see anything. I would suggest that Martell doesn't have any water on that screen. And, of course, the washer bottle is in that front part of the bodywork, Bucky. He could have just taken it off. No, there is water. You can see the water spraying.
You can see it.
It's spraying like mad. He can't see, though. Martell is going to carry on, is he? He might as well. You never know what's going to happen. He's got 6 laps, but he's hoping, obviously, that someone like Leach will put it off and not make it. We did not see what happened to Conor Martell, unless it was in the background. We saw Keats run super deep on the brakes. Well, Martell's got a huge fight back on his hands. Keats, who's taken the joker, he's just in front of Keys. And it doesn't look like, I wondered if he'd run at the back of Keys, but the back of Keys' car is straight, so there's no way that Martell's hit him. Have a look at the tyre bales down the left-hand side here. Did Martell pick up one of the tyre bales?
It must have happened on the...
yes.
Yeah, it must have happened after the jump there.
I reckon that's what's happened. I think Martell's hit the tyre bale on the way down the hill. Could be wrong. You saw Keys there go the wrong side of one of them. Going to take a replay of it. So here we go. Here comes Conor Martell. He's a little just boom.
Oh, he couldn't see. He could not see. He drove right into the tires. Look at him. He cannot see.
So there we go. He's gone straight into the tires. Now, RX2 semi-final 1. Car number 24, Sage Karam, 15-second penalty, multiple violations. I bet you that's track limits.
Yep.
So Sage Karam, who was using the grass to turn in, and we were like, that's pretty clever. It's okay to use the dirt on the berm on the outside, Bucky, but he's used the grass. That must be surely for that. I'll see if I can get in touch with Race Control and find out exactly what that's for.
I'm willing to bet my per diem on it.
Bucky, it won't be Bucky's round tonight. Or it might be, actually, yeah. He could win double per diem. So, yeah, if Bucky's right. Now, look at that. Alex Keys straightens up the exit, going to try and find a way past Keats. Now he's going to have great exit speed, but he's got to get the car stopped at the bottom of the hill. Oh, is he going to hit the tyre bale?
Oh.
See, he's surely going to get done as well for track limits, Bucky. You can't just go off the side of the track like that.
But did he? Those tires are in... No?
No, I think...
They're slightly in. They're slightly in. I think we might have an argument here.
Side by side, Keys and Keats down to the bottom hairpin. Right, I'm going to get on my phone, which is extraordinarily unusual during a race. I'm going to send a message to Race Control, and we're going to try and find out exactly what that penalty is for.
Keys with a nice inside move there. He's able to get the spot back from Keats. I mean, Keats is able to get it back from Keats. I'm sorry.
Keats and Keys, don't worry. It's close on the name. People will be fine. They go so slowly, I'm sure they can see at home.
Plenty of time to correct.
we're feeling potentially, well, it says multiple violations. I'm hearing that maybe one of those violations, of course, is his spin, where he then didn't go back onto the track. He just continued down the time, so he cut the course. But multiple violations, I think, is track limits.
And if you're going to do it big.
Yeah, well, he did, didn't he? So, but the thing is, it won't actually, what's it going to do? Sage Karen 15-second penalty. He stays in the same position, Bucky, so he doesn't actually go anywhere. He just ends up P2, and we did say that. So we'll wait and see what race control come back with on if we can get any more detail. Basically, we have a digital screen which shows the short version. You know, the version you get from the race director is a big A4 piece of paper with a ton of information on it about what the offence was, who decided it, the stewards sign it, the driver or their representative has to sign it. We got on the screen about 8 letters in yellow, so we're not sure. Keys and Keats are going at it here, Bucky. Look at this between them. Keys going to try and get the undercut on the exit here. Keats just staying off the gas and not allowing him to find any way through. These guys, though, are in the 110s. So didn't we say that Fraz was doing 113s, and that was fast? So the track's got 3 seconds quicker in the space of 6 to 10 laps. And that'll be partly cleaning and partly drying. I say drying, that's like a loose term.
Yep, and look at the input from Keats. That was a full-on high-speed Scandi flick into the braking zone. Keys has closed it in, but then Keats is able to get a better drive out of it.
So let's see where Keys goes this time. Does he stay the correct side? Oh, so is he going to... I think he's going to argue that those tyres are in the track, and he might be right, Bucky. So maybe they... I suppose actually they're the tyres. I think they're right. Yeah, they're the tyres that Martel hit.
Correct.
They're
and Martel he's back up to pace and speed, and I believe he's catching Leach right now.
So yeah, he is. So behind these two who are fighting for the lead, up at the back of the straight there, you can see that there's a fight going on for the final place in the final. Martel is catching up to the back of Michael Leach.
And it's downpouring right now. It is a torrential downpour as we speak.
It is, yeah, it's pouring with rain right now. Bucky Lasek is dead right. Just stuck my hand out the side of the announcing booth, and it's pouring with rain, so we're going to see the lap times come back down. Here's Martel then. This is for the final spot in the final. Flicks the car around to the inside. He's got 1 lap to get past Michael Leach. If he doesn't, then he's not going to make it. The reigning champion won't be in the final. Keats versus Keys. Keys looking for a place on the front row, runs the car out into the dirt. Keats, those run wide. Keats on the handbrake, gets the car sideways. Keys going to try and undercut him. Get that car straight and get on the gas. Keats has run wide. Oh, Keys gets into him, tried to get on the throttle early and get up the inside and just ran the car wide.
And he's got a screen full of mud right now.
Martel's gone round. Martel's gone round. Game over. So Conor Martel has gone round. We're not seeing any investigations for this semi-final, so my apologies to Alex Keys, because I think he was just doing the sensible thing and straight lining down that back straight.
Look at
Very
the
hard
mud
to
just
see
dumped
from
out
yeah.
of the braking zone.
Cole Keats with a great drive to win semi-final number 2. And right now, I imagine there are some ARX drivers in those supercars that you can see in the background. Keats takes it from Keys. Michael Leach coming around the second to last corner now. Leach is nearly there. Here he comes. Michael Leach into the last corner. And he will go through to the final. Conor Martel got so close to him. Conor Martel was down in the 108s, and in fact, we saw a 108 from Keys as well on 1 lap. So it is possible. Martel did 1, 2, 3. He did 3 108s and a 109. The lap time was there, but he had that problem at the start of the race where he hit the tire.
How did he get his screen cleaned off? Because his screen became pretty clean. Oh, it must have rained enough.
And the washers, of course. But there is Martel's car. Has he broken the steering? The front looks a little off. It's pouring with rain. It's absolutely pouring with rain again. Cole Keats takes semi-final number 2. Alex Keys goes through in P2. And Michael Leach in P3. Conor Martel is unfortunately a DNF. He nearly managed to get through, but not quite. So as far as we can see, there are no investigations or penalties for this semi-final. Now, you saw the replay during the race, what happened to Martel. I want to see where Martel's screen gets dirty. So look, his screen here is completely clean, Bucky. It must be here. Look, right as here. He comes on,
he just got
Keats roosted him, yeah. And then here we go, look. Boom, just straight into the tyres. And then they do indeed roll out into the track. So Alex Keys managed to get through inside. Big impact for Martel, and then the screen took ages to clear. Once it was clear, he got those lap times in. This was Kiesler getting a great exit off the Joker. Him and Keats had a fantastic fight. It might be slow motion. Look at that. That was a great move.
Very good move. Stuck it outside, stuck it back inside. Keats drove it out too far with momentum. These guys had a nice little battle.
It's crazy though, isn't it? When you're in a car and you're trying to feel the grip like that, and it's just, you get that tick-a-tick-a-tick noise when the transmission locks up and the wheels are juddering. You're like, no, 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 you come off the brake and then the car goes deep, and then you're on the handbrake and it over-rotates. Then you get, it's a constant fight. You never basically have that lovely bit where the car is working. You're always operating outside the window. I would suggest Martel was the guy who managed to operate the most inside the window, but he didn't have enough time to make it up. So it's Keats with the win.
The conditions out there look like they're getting slippery and slipperier. Are these some of the most difficult conditions you've raced a lights car in?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened out there. We started off good. The car had a lot of grip, and then obviously it started raining out there mid-run, so it's just getting so slick out there. I mean, the dirt, it feels like ice. You barely touch the brakes and you're full lockup, but it's all going to be about getting that start. So I think we start pole position. It's got to be close between me and Frazier. But like I said, I'm really happy with this car. We got to figure out a little bit more speed. Alex had more speed than me, but we should be good for the final. Like I said, Frazier may have won the war, but there's one last battle I got to get.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to it. Did you have any vision issues while we were out there?
I mean, hit the windshield wipers and it all cleared up. Thankfully, it was raining. Sometimes I try not to hit the wipers because it smears mud, but with enough clear water coming in, it clears us up pretty good, and as in the lead, of course. So, like I said, big thanks to Dry Reinbold for putting me out here, and the car is just on rails.
Great. We'll go get your car cleaned up before the final.
You can hear the rain. Have a little listen to this. So that's the rain on our camera cover up there by, what's that, as turn 1, isn't it, to the right-hand side there. It's properly raining. We're having to move all sorts of things into shade here in the commentary box, bags and notes and things. It's really chucking it down. So the track, I think, is probably as wet as it's been all day. Bucky, there is a point at which a wetter track is actually slightly better for the wet tyres, but that's not really going to help necessarily on the gravel section.
Fortunately, these supercars aren't as affected as the RX2 cars. They'll definitely show more speed, but still, it's still going to be a very tricky condition track to drive, especially on the first lap. Look at how the rear of that car is just dancing around, just being drug.
Well, the pickup truck can barely find enough traction, can it, to drag it off the dirt section? Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's a mess. It's a mess. Look at the mud. Look how deep that mud is, and look at it as well, Bucky. I mean, that's been dragged straight into the turning point and braking zone, isn't it? I wonder if the spotters will be on the radio to their drivers saying, look, you're going to need to watch it in the first corner.
Send it.
Watch it, send it, one or the other. So we are frantically drying off electrical items and so on up here in commentary.
I'm glad I got my rubber soles on.
If you go quiet, you'll know where we are. You can find me and Bucky in A&E. Hopefully not. Martel got a 5-second penalty in Q2, Semi 2 for avoidable contact. To be honest with you, I don't think there was a huge amount of avoidable contact out there. I think most of the contact was just people desperately trying to hold on to the car. So it doesn't make any difference anyway because he was a DNF. But the stewards need to do their job and make it clear to the drivers that they've got to play ball. So we're watching the supercars. There you go. You see in the background. Look at Sandell. Big practice start and a send as well from Patrick. And Bucky, that can give you an idea kind of grip levels. See in the background there. You know what I mean? You give the car just a little chuck off the line to try and figure out what the traction's like.
Yeah, you're gonna get the grip level, and you're gonna get the input that you're giving. You're gonna get the response of the input that you're giving with your hands on how the car reacts on turn-in.
So we're hearing there's still some tyre barriers to be put back. The rain has eased off a tiny bit. So it's kind of stopped raining, but I don't know if you guys can see the hill where the spectators are sitting, but it is really grey up there. I don't know if that's where the weather's coming in from. But the hill behind the spectators up at the Joker lap is pretty grey. I don't think, right now, Bucky, I don't think it makes any difference. I think it's just super slippery. It's not going to dry out anytime soon. You just got to get out there and get it done.
Yeah, the tidiest driver is going to win this race.
Backer with his wiper on the right-hand side of your picture, left-hand side of the grid. Weeman, of course, on the pole with the TQ. Good job by Weeman.
Yeah, the Subarus have been getting off the line pretty good. But I still believe Volkswagen has kind of showed that they are the one to beat off the line.
Yeah, they've done a great job, haven't they? TQs this year, we had 2 for Faust, 2 for Speed, 1 for Sandell, and 1 for Weeman. So Weeman is the only non-permanent driver to take a TQ spot. Wins, we've had 2 for Faust, 1 for Speed, 1 for Atco, 1 for Sandell. So 3 for Subaru, 2 for Volkswagen. Will we see a 4th Subaru win? They'd love to get a clean sweep of the podium. They could do it with the 4 cars here.
Sandell's going to want to get out in front of Bigham here and have his 2 teammates help him get some more points.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that is a very good point.
So he has to get ahead of Bigham, at the least, off the line here.
Take a look back at the standings when we came here. Sandell was 7 points in front of Arpin and 2 points in front of Atkinson. After qualifying here, Arpin took 1 point off, so now you can understand why his teammates helped him out in that last session, letting Sandell through. So Sandell lost a point to Arpin, so he is now 6 points in front of Arpin. So actually Arpin here is chasing as well, isn't he? He's chasing a podium spot. So we could even see, you know, 3 different manufacturers on our championship podium. So, you know, the championship's gone, but you think to yourself, oh, that's it, it's done. But it's not. There's so much to play for. And these guys now are in that time of year where they're working so hard to find the money to come back and do this again next year, to find the sponsors. They've all got guests here with them this weekend, yeah, to show them how fantastic ARX is as a sport. They probably weren't hoping for rain.
It's a friendly rain, though.
Yeah, it's not offensive, is it?
No. It's not going to ruin our after celebration.
No, I think we'll be all right. I'm sure we can find an indoor. We'll just go under a tent with
There's plenty of RVs.
Fraz and Tanner, won't we? Yeah. Yeah, Bill Schuster from ARX3. He's got his RV here. There's the reason we're waiting. Another one of our safety trucks.
Probably heading over to his little spot.
Yeah, they go back to their original position, basically. So James is with Chris Atkinson.
Atco, you've seen the ARX2 cars out there, but you haven't seen a supercar out there yet, but it looks incredibly slick. What's the strategy going into this?
Yeah, I think it's worse than this morning. It looks really bad, really tricky. We need to make the final, and I've had the Fords just trying to run me off the track all day, so this will be interesting. But we're going to have our hands full, and I know they're going to try and send it at us, but we'll give it our best shot.
And, you know, obviously coming from your incredible rally background with these same colors on the car, that must give you a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. The car's amazing in these conditions, and we were quick this morning and practiced straight out of the box. I know how to drive these things in the mud, so we'll try and be quick.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you behind us here. We might be able to get the champion leader over here, Tanner, really quickly. See if we can grab him really quickly before we go out there. Tanner, you haven't seen a supercar out there yet, just the other ARX3 and ARX2, but you know, with all the power in these cars, there must be a strategy to manage that power output on this slick surface.
I mean, you turn your anti-lag systems down. That's what keeps, you know, this big power coming. When you just, when it's up very high for high grip, on the tip-in, you would just get wheel spin. So you turn that system down so you have a little more drivability. And, you know, you just got to know how slow to go fast. It's kind of looks like slow motion probably on screen, but it's about finding the grip. And sometimes there's grip on the grass. Sometimes there's, you know, grip on sides of the track, but you got to hunt for it.
Great. Well, good luck. I'm sure you'll do great.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So Faust and Atkinson having a little think about conditions. Yeah, they're getting themselves ready to go. Semi-final time at the last round of America's Rallycross 2019. On the front row, we've got Andreas Backerud and Jonny Weeman. Weeman, of course, having taken the top qualifier spot, Patrick Sandell and Cabot Bigham. So Subaru can play team tactics here if they want to with Sandell to get him up into the positions. Try and get that P2 securing the championship. Here we go, ready to race. So wet and slippery out there. What are the supercars going to do? Good reaction time for Bigham on the outside. Sandell goes sideways. Backerud's got a great start. Weeman's gone backwards. So, it's a fantastic start for Backerud. Backerud has in straight into the whole shot. Bigham right up underneath him. Sandell around the long left-hander. Look how soft the cars are as well. They've thrown all the suspension settings at these. They go straight to the Joker lap. They're going to hope to come out in front. Bigham's up the inside of Backerud, but he's too sideways in the middle. Backerud squares off the entry to the dirt section in the back. Going to come out in front of his teammate or not? Sandell has held on somehow on the standard lap. So Sandell, look at the dirt on Backerud's screen. Backerud can't see, surely. So there's dirt all over their screens, and that is a masterstroke from Sandell here. He's going to be able to get the car through. Look at Backerud's vision. He can't see anything, Bucky.
Backerud, I think he can just drive off of instinct. That's how good of a driver he is. You give this guy a hole, and he can see through it, and he'll drive through it as well.
So tricky. Poor Jonny Weeman went backwards off the start, Bucky. He was nowhere.
No, and Bigham's having a hard time seeing himself, I feel.
So Weeman's screen is potentially clearing at the back there. Cabot Bigham's screen looking good too. But Sandell, fantastic tactics. You know, he didn't take the joke lap on the first lap. That means he's got a clean screen. And actually, you know, I think I'm guessing that Backerud, look, Weeman having a look up the inside there. Couldn't quite get through though. I wonder if Backerud went to the Joker, hoping it would be quicker than the standard lap and that he would come out in front anyway, because clean screen here, Bucky, I think is actually the #1 consideration. Sandell goes Joker. Side by side for Bigham and Backerud. Backerud's late on the brakes, so is Bigham. They're going to run deep and they're going to end up in the wall. Not quite. Backerud completely out of control. Nothing he can do that. He didn't try and put Cabot in there.
I think Bigham actually helped him get out of the wall there.
Bigham's going to run deep. Up the inside goes Jonny Weeman. So all 4 drivers of Joker within 2 laps. You saw Sandell go on lap 2. He had the gap. He wants a clean screen. And Patrick Sandell has done a fantastic job there. Weeman's gone from P4 to P3. He's almost up onto the back of Andreas Backerud. I mean, these are all-wheel drive Rallycross supercars, Bucky. These are the best of the best factory machines, and these conditions are challenging them and the world's best Rallycross drivers to the limit today.
Yes, I've driven in these conditions, and man, it is so tough to hold yourself back and compose yourself and not just put the power down with the right foot. You got to drive more with your mind in this situation.
You're only really hearing them use the full potential of these cars. Backward there, you can see on the handbrake, and still he runs deep. Weeman tries to get past, but he can't find the traction either. You're only hearing them on full throttle, just on tiny bits of tarmac. Here we go, Bucky. We might hear it a little bit here. Not even there, really.
No, they're tiptoeing everywhere.
Look at the dirt all over the track. Absolutely filthy conditions for these drivers.
Bigham's got to watch going out there with track limits.
I'm not even sure we can see where track limits are anymore. I mean, it's just so slick out on this circuit. Weeman runs wide. Bigham runs wide with him. Sideways down the hill again. So this is perfect for Patrick Sandell. He's got 2 tail gunners here in Andreas Backerud and Jonny Weeman. Subaru would love to get all 4 cars through to the final. At the minute, they're going to get 3 through here. But you can't count out Cabot Bigham, not yet, not in these conditions.
I'm enjoying a little slow dancing here.
So you can hear Sandell, the roar of his Subaru engine, fantastic noise.
With the anti-lag popping, like Tanner was saying earlier, you want to turn all engine modes down to low. So the car, actually, you want to lose that high end, you want to gain a little bit more torque on the bottom end so that you can drive out without a lot of wheel spin.
An anti-lag can cause you to push wide too, can't it? So in the slow corners, you've got to drive the car.
It's like an on and off switch.
Yeah.
Especially when when you're engaging full power. But when you dial it back, it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, it kind of slows down your throttle response.
Well, Sandell's made a mistake and runs the car a little bit wide. Well, they're all on a pretty similar trajectory, to be honest. In the background, Bigham's wide too. Watch Andreas Backerud's rear wheels. Andreas, to me, is having to use the handbrake a lot to get into these corners.
Yep, there it is,
there we
locking
go.
up
That
there.
was fully locked up.
For a long time. He's mastered that.
Watch and see again if he uses it, particularly at the bottom of the circuit and in the first 2 corners. Backward is definitely using the handbrake a lot. So look and see if you can see the rear wheels locking on their own. Weeman drops back just a little bit from Andreas, but it's that Constantina effect again, isn't it, of slow in, fast out, but we're not even really getting the fast out.
Yeah, I'm seeing Sandell grab a little handbrake mid-turn as well to get the car pointed straight out and get on the throttle.
So watch Sandell here. He's going to flick the car back the other way, and again, you see the wheels lock. Look at backward in the background.
Right there, locked up.
That's it. And Weeman again. Just for a split second, that's where they're on that handbrake and they're making the car rotate. Bucky, they're going to have had a bit of a guess at settings. I know they had one, you know, that morning warm-up was like this, but they're going to have just literally thrown settings at the car,
just
aren't they?
free the whole car up.
So
soften
take what?
Everything up. Undo the sway bars. Mess with a couple clicks on rebound, compression, and maybe if they had time, throw some softer springs on.
So full change to setup potentially. Andreas backward. Looks like he's got some good pace here. They're all, to be fair, the 3 Subarus are on almost identical pace. You can see that they're on the brakes way early, way early. Sandell rotating the car a long way before. If anything, it's almost getting more slippery out there.
It looks like it.
Lap times are 1:13. So, okay, so these guys are doing lap times which the ARX 2 cars were doing 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. But that extra rain has just made it extra slippery. Cabot Bigham has dropped off the back of the Subaru train now. They've got 1 lap left to go. Patrick Sandell's going to want those 6 points for the championship fight. Backward and Weeman will not challenge him, but they would like to go through to the final. And if they go through to the final, it might be that then, once they've done all the calculations, Subaru will know that Arpin can't catch Sandell, and they may then release Backward and Weeman to race, and we'd love to see that, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, Weeman's showing his bumper to Backward here. I think he can do anything about it, though.
I think they'll keep it sensible. Unless Backward makes a mistake. Backward's just about got a clean strip, and as I say that, Backward does run the car a little bit deep. He's going to get it straightened up for the exit.
It squares up perfectly on the exit.
That's actually, it's a good line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good line.
It's a good line. Looks wide on the way in. Watch for Sandell flick the car here. So he's out to the one side, in, little tiny bit of handbrake, get the car rotated, patient on the throttle, understeer, and then back the other way, find the traction, and now you'll hear the engine just a little. Well, there you go. This is what happens sometimes. Mother Nature steps in. Sandell, though, has got the job done. In semi-final number 1, Patrick Sandell grabs those championship points to try and hold on to P2, be on the podium at the end of the year. Andreas Backward and Jonny Weeman make it a Subaru 1-2-3 in semi-final number 1. All the blue cars through. Cabot Bigham going to take the checker flag for the last time this year. He won't make it to the final here at the Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio. Look at Sandell, look at the front end of Sandell's car is all you need to know about what happened in that race. The tactics were bang on. He didn't win the start. He was on the second row.
Last.
Yeah.
Or no, yeah.
But a great job by Sandell, clean screen, and a win in semi-1. Here is the result of semi-final number 1. Patrick Sandell, 7 minutes, 7.7. 6 championship points, though. Then it's Backward, Weeman, and Bigham is out. So off the line, look how sideways Sandell is. Weeman goes absolutely nowhere. Backward goes off, and Bigham's gone with him. But Backward and Bigham then go to the Joker, and somehow Sandell has got out in front of them. And look at Backward's screen. Watch this. Gone. That's it. He's just covered in dirt. This was then the next lap, where Weeman managed to get himself through. And I mean, you can see they're absolutely crawling around, fighting for any tiny bit of grip they can find. Sandell, though, with good vision out front, I think really that those first couple of laps where he could see where he was going are what made all the difference. Sandell takes semi-1. What do you think? I mean,
that was a long one.
Stay with us. We could be here for quite some time. James Rimmer's down with Patrick Sandell.
Patrick, sorry, there's a lot of noise in the background here, but it's even getting more slippery and even slower out there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy slippery right now. Like, you have to just be so patient out there. It's just out everywhere now, and it's getting worse. You know, more rain, and we are dragging the dirt along the track. So the final will be very, very interesting. It's all about being patient, though. You know, if you try to come in a little bit too hot and try to rotate the car, you will lose the front end in the exit of the corner. So you just have to go slow. That's key right now.
Well, your car looks clean, which means you did a good job. See you in the final.
Thanks, man.
Like that sound of that clunky Sedev gearbox.
Yeah, me too. Straight into gear, and away. Like this, if you get the chance to drive any car with a sequential gearbox, jump at it. It's one of the best things ever. If you want a proper sequential with a big lever, like a paddle shift is cool. Like you sell me a road car with a dirty, great big lever in the middle that goes at the traffic lights. I'm in all day long, and I want the handbrake next to it. I don't want an electric handbrake ever.
No.
All hire cars should come with it, shouldn't they, Bucky? Sequential box, big lever. What do you reckon?
I reckon if I owned the rental car company, I would have the electronic parking brake. The rain is coming down.
It is. Semi-final number 2 about to get underway. Here's the lineup. On the front row, 2019 champion Tanner Faust. Job done. Steve Arpin next to him would love to take a win for his team this year. On the back row, it's Chris Atkinson and Travis Pecoy. So the rain has started pouring down again just a few moments ago, as if it wasn't slippery enough already. Here we go. Faust needs a good getaway, but Weeman didn't get one in semi-1. And Faust doesn't either. Faust goes sideways. Brilliant start. Steve Arpin, Travis Pecoy going to go with him. Faust alongside Pecoy on the inside. Pecoy going to try and shut the door, but Tanner Faust has got it. Faust is into P2 as he heads up towards the corners at the top of the hill. Arpin gets a little bit sideways. Faust goes straight to the joker. Faust wants a clean screen, Buck. He needs to get out in front of Steve Arpin here.
Not sure that's going to happen, though. I think Arpin's going to benefit here.
Here we go. Faust coming in on the outside. Arpin's going to run the car wide. Faust is going to look to get past on the inside. Bit of mud going to fly up across the screen. Faust gets it done. If he can roost up and cross the front of Arpin's car here, he could have a result, but Faust is a bit deep on the brakes. Arpin's gone early on the brakes. Steve Arpin going to get round. Tanner's got to make that tyre bail. He'll get a penalty for that, I think, Bucky.
Yep, he is going to definitely get a timed penalty there.
So Tanner Faust then missed that tyre bail. I think so we see in ARX semi-final 1, we had a 5-second penalty for Cabot Bigham for missing the jump. So I think Tanner will get given a 5-second penalty, definitely, Bucky. The question mark is whether they punish him more severely because they feel he's got too much of an advantage.
Yeah, and Akko has already jokered, and he's on the back of Arpin now.
Arpin's car looking pretty good. He was saying, wasn't he, that it was absolutely, we saw him at lunchtime, he was saying it was the best it had been, and they went completely wild on the setup and found a car that worked. He won Q4 and the car looked brilliant, but now the rain's come and it's all gone.
Yeah, they just have to free that car up. Hopefully they were on there wrenching on it and just opened up everything, just softened it up.
You can see there, super soft from Arpin. He's drifting the car around on the throttle. Listen to the throttle. Steve Arpin's going to come around and try and take the lead here from Tanner Faust. Steve Arpin with great exit speed. Arpin goes into the lead. What a move by Steve Arpin. Fantastic. So Arpin to the front. Oh, now he's gone deep. So Steve Arpin's gone deep. He's got to try and make it. Don't get stuck, surely. Oh, Tanner Faust runs wide contact between them. Arpin's going to make the corner. He does make the corner, so Arpin makes it through there. Onto the grass on the outside. Tanner Faust drops down into P2. So good move from Arpin coming off the joker lap. Goes inside to the braking zone. Faust is doing the same. Atkinson too.
I think now Arpin will gather himself up and just drive a nice, clean race. Just keep his eyes up. He knows he knows the grip level now. He carried a little too much speed and over the jump to make that pass on Tanner.
That bump in the middle of the corner there, Bucky, you can see if they hit it at the wrong angle, it just delicately pushes you into understeer, and then you're in trouble. Okay, semi-final 2, Tanner Faust, 5-second penalty for track limits. So Faust is driving with a 5-second penalty, so you now need to keep an eye on whether Pecoy can get within 5 seconds of him. So we'll keep you posted on that. Faust runs the car out a little bit deep. Oh, Akko gets into the side of him. So they're side by side. The crowd are whistling and cheering up at the top, but it hasn't done either of them any favours. And this could be it for Tanner Faust, because if Pecoy gets within 5 seconds, I say he's going to get knocked out. So Tanner Faust, and he can't see anything. Faust's screen is completely covered in mud. Look at Akko's too. Neither of these guys can see anything. Steve Arpin runs too deep. And Picoy is right there. So Tanner Faust, the champion, is in danger of not making it through to the final. Arpin, Atkinson, Faust and Picoy. You can do them all for track limits there, Bucky, but there's no point.
No, you can't do anything about it. That's just where the car ends up.
So do you think they'll be on to Tanner now? Because I think they have to be on to him to say you have got to gap Arpin behind you, sorry, Picoy behind you by 5 seconds, or you're not going to make it to the final.
And he doesn't have it as we speak.
No, he does not at the minute. Picoy is just 0.9 of a second off the back, and Picoy is looking really dangerous here. Sideways again, trying to find a way past Tanner Faust.
He might get a pass on Tanner.
Now he runs a little bit deep. Tanner needs Picoy to make a... Tanner really got mugged a bit by Chris Atkinson, didn't he?
He did. Tanner thought he was going to go out and get on the grass and get a better run through that turn, but Atco tucked in on it.
Arpin, though, is on that super loose dirt on the inside. Atco's going to look up the inside again. Of course, he did this at St. Louis, and Atco runs him wide.
Beautiful move by Atco.
It's a great move. Tanner Faust is fully on the grass. Is he going to be in the tyres on the outside? Travis Picoy just about holding on. So contact then between Atkinson and Faust is under investigation. This is just crazy. Atkinson in the lead from Arpin. Atco made the same pass twice. Faust now rotates the car around, but he
comes
spins.
Up short on the rotation.
So Faust spins the car. Has he cut the track again? Is that another 5 seconds? I mean, this is just anybody's Bucky. I really don't know how to call this. I really don't. This is just so unusual. Atkinson from Faust. Steve Arpin drops down into P3. Travis Picoy now is absolutely miles behind. So I don't even know what happened to Picoy in the background. He must have just got in the loose stuff. Faust kind of got spun around there, maybe with a bit of contact as well. So we've got investigations galore going on. We've got our champion running in P2 to Chris Atkinson. Chris Atkinson, don't forget, is also in a fight with Steve Arpin for P2, P3 in the championship. So lots to play for.
And under investigation.
So now, okay, so Atco's now under investigation for 2 moves. But for both Faust and Arpin. But he is leading. Atkinson is leading. Gets the car in on the handbrake. Sideways, going to run a bit deep again. Tanner Faust.
Oh boy, this is big.
I mean, it's so slow. It's so slippery. Arpin again on. Look at that. It's basically, Bucky, it's falling off a cliff. And look at Picoy.
He's in a different zip code. Now that's track limits there.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where the stewards have just got to say, do you know what? There's nothing they can do about it. They can barely keep the car within the venue, let alone track limits. I mean, let's call the wall track limits, shall we? Because I think it's the only fair way to do this.
I think they'll stay within that one.
Tanner Faust, look at the braking zone. It's absolutely filthy. These conditions are unprecedented in any rallycross. I've been commentating the sport for quite a while now, and I have to say this is the filthiest conditions I think I've ever seen. And it's bringing out the best in these drivers. They're trying everything in the car. Bucky, literally, you're throwing everything at it, aren't you?
Yeah, Tanner throwing it out there. He's gone outside, inside. He's trying to find something that works. Look at him just chasing lines here and there.
Faust at the minute has exactly 5 seconds over Steve Arpin behind him. Exactly 5 seconds. He's going to get a 5-second penalty at the end of this. And Arpin, in fact, is now just within the 5 seconds. So it's about whether or not Faust can hold on. It's about whether or not Atkinson is given a big penalty for the contact twice with both those drivers. You know, was it side by side and fair, or was it pushing them off? It's not for us to decide, thankfully, because I wouldn't want to. Normally, I'm thinking.
Yeah, don't look at me.
Yeah,
I don't want to
get. Literally looking at Bucky in the announcing booth. I think we're looking at each other a bit dumbfounded by what we've seen this afternoon. What a way to finish a season. I'm glad for Tanner that the job was done prior to the semi-finals and the finals. What we've got here is a demonstration of crazy conditions and great car control. In the background, Arpin has run the car super wide. You guys can't see it at the minute. He's back onto the track now. Chris Atkinson is going to take semi-final number 2, so that's all 4 Subarus through, barring anything the stewards say. Faust comes across the line, but he will get a 5-second penalty. How far back is Steve Arpin? Is it more than 5 or not? So Arpin crosses the line 9.1 to 2.9, so it's 3 to 9, 6.2 back. So in theory, Faust's 5-second penalty won't put him into the clutches of Arpin. So Faust, I think, is through, but there's contact under investigation between Atkinson and Faust and Atkinson and Arpin. So the big question mark for me, Bucky, is whether they think Atkinson's moves were on or whether they penalise it for him and drop him out. Have to be a hell of a penalty because Picoy was 11.7 back. So we'll let you know as soon as we do. So this was the start, and again, I'll tell you what, the pole in the final is not where you want to be.
No, Tanner did not get off to a good start. Neither did Weeman in that same position.
So Weeman and Faust both proving there's no grip there at all. Faust goes around the outside. Arpin looks like he's got it, but he runs wide. Tanner comes up the inside of him and has got a clean screen. But watch this, Tanner drops it on the brakes and then can't make it back up to the tyre balance. To be fair, he couldn't because Arpin was there, but still he cut the course. He gets a 5-second penalty. Now watch for the passes with Atco. Atco's nowhere at this point and comes back into it. Arpin gets the lead there with extra exit speed off the Joker and then drops it.
And gets stuck for a second.
He comes back in just... Look at that, you'd think Faust would have taken that spot easily, and yet he can't get any traction either. Okay, here we go, this is the first move. Faust gets on the handbrake early to try and get it sideways. Atkinson gets in his door. You can hear them both on the limiter trying to hold on to that car.
I'm going to call penalty on Atco on that one.
I think you might be right. What, just straight into the side?
Yeah, he kind of saw a hole. There I would say it's more of a rubbing move. It's more of a rubbing pass where I felt like the initiation was not a big engagement.
So the question mark, so here's Faust missing another corner. We forgot about that, but I think he's lost enough time there that there's no point in penalising him for that. So does Atco get a penalty or not? How big is that penalty? Do they leave him in? Do they knock him down the line? You'll have to stick around to find out. Confirmation of the result of a carnage semi-final number 2. Chris Atkinson, Tanner Faust and Steve Arpin should go through, waiting on those stewards' decisions. Pecoy at the moment won't make it to the final. So I'm normally pretty happy to discuss what we think about stewards' decisions and in a positive way, because as I say, they've got a tough job, just so I like to think we've got quite a tough job sometimes. Bucky, normally you and me go, look, we don't think this, we think that, we're good. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to have to be looking at those incidents because the conditions are unprecedented.
I'm not scared. I'm going to call Atco penalty on the first contact, but clean contact on the second.
Bucky Lasek.
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared. So we're still seeing it's under review on the timing screen. I say if we get any update on that, we'll bring it to you as soon as we can. But we've got more action still to come. So we can hear ARX 2 cars pulling up to the line. So those guys will be good to go shortly. So I've got some information on some penalties in front of me. This was Sage Karam, because of course we're going back into ARX 2 mode now. Sage Karam had a 5-second penalty. Yeah, 5-second penalty for avoidable contact for Sage Karam. 5-second penalty for track limits for Sage Karam. 5-second penalty for avoidable contact. So 2 bits for avoidable contact, track limits. Me and Bucky are kind of saying track limits is off now. Like the wall's the track limits, deal with it. You know, it's carnage out there.
Yeah, some of the supercars were driving the same limits, minus missing a barrel here or there. But I don't know. I would have probably found the same traction. I liked what Sage did out there. He was looking.
Yeah, he was looking for somewhere, and particularly the sticky stuff around the outside of the corner. But of course, he did then when he was spun around with the contact with Keys. Was it? I can't even remember. There's so much has happened, and he ended up cutting the corner. So maybe that's what it's for. Still under review for the supercars. We are waiting. I'm just checking the various different sources on here. And at the minute, we haven't got any information on what's going to happen with the supercars. So anybody's guess. We've got some ARX 2 cars on the line, and we've got another race for these guys. So we're looking forward to this. Stewards are still reviewing the last semi-final, apparently, for ARX or ARX 2. ARX. So we wait. Okay, so the stewards are still reviewing that last semi-final. We'd kind of figured that. So. But the semi-finals are all done with the reviews for ARX 2. So these guys should get released just as soon as the track is clear and ready. Don't think I'd have parked those golf buggies on the grass in the background there. I'm not convinced those will be coming off there too easily, but at least you can bounce up and down on the back of a golf buggy to try and find a bit of traction or do a wheelie if you're feeling particularly extravagant.
I wonder if these guys have packed any of their crew chiefs in the back of the car to try to get some weight in there.
Me and Bucky came up with a concept, I think it was yesterday, for RV ARX, where you have to take your entire 6-man team with you in an RV. What was it, cook a meal or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got to carry on as you normally would. You got to make lunch throughout the day.
Yeah, everything's got to be done in the RV. So is it an endurance rallycross race, do you think, endurance RV RX? Is that what we're going for?
Yeah.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Trademark. So long old hold for these guys sitting on the line, nervous times. There's the Fraser McConnell.
The red cups are out.
Fan club. Yeah, the red good spot, Bucky. The red cups are out. Celebrations have begun. The pressure is off.
Big up.
Big up, Jamaica, if you're watching. You don't get this in Jamaica, do you? We probably do. Let's have Rallycross in Jamaica. Come on, guys. We're up for it.
Next year, I propose it.
Yeah, we're in. There he is. The Jamaican one. Fraser McConnell.
The champ.
Team Fraz on the roof. The 2019 ARX 2 champion. Would love to sign off with a win.
And there's no one out there that's going to do what he does with this championship. He is a great ambassador of the sport.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. He's been great for this series. Time for the last final of the year for ARX2. On the front row, Cole Keats, who's desperate to take a win, and Fraser McConnell, crowned the 2019 champion earlier today. Row 2, Sage Karam has been unbeatable all weekend until the semi-finals in those tricky conditions. Alex Keys next to him. And bringing up the rear, Lane Vakala and Michael Leach. Thumbs up coming very shortly from the marshals. And we'll be rounding out our AX2 season with what's going to be a very, very slippery final indeed. The gears get engaged one last time. The lights are coming on for these young drivers. Are we going to see any in Supercar next year? Got a great battle left here at Mid-Ohio. Good start by Fraser McConnell on the front row. Cole Keats has gone a little bit backwards, but we've seen it super slippery on that #1 slot. Alex Keys has got past. Sage Karam drops down to P5. Lane Vakala on his outside. Contact. Oh, sideways for Keats. Sideways for Fraser McConnell. Oh, Sage Karam with an incredible move. Sage Karam right the way onto the standard lap. So Fraser McConnell's gone straight into the Joker. Keys has gone with him. Keats up the inside of Keys. Keys trying to find a way around the outside of Fraz. Keats is up the inside of Fraz. Fraz is going to run a little bit wide. He's not going to get the XE1 and he's going to get a screen covered in mud. Sage Karam gets collected by Michael Leach runs into the back of Sage Karam. So Karam with that great move. And Fraz was hoping for a clean screen, but Cole Keats did a great move, and now Cole runs deep. So Cole Keats has run deep. Fraser McConnell going to come around the outside. Cole's going to get a penalty for that.
Frey's in the lead.
Basically, it is. It is. But he now has to catch up because, in theory, a 5-second penalty isn't enough. I don't know what they do if Keats got away into the distance. I don't know what they do in terms of penalties. Who's in the background? Michael Leach, is that with a crippled car? Is it? Yeah, Leach's wipers aren't working, Bucky.
Oh, he can't see. He's done. There's no way he's going to be able to carry on.
So Lane Vakala is surely going to find a way past Michael Leach. Fraser McConnell, the wipers are on the Dirtfish machine. Getting that screen cleaned up. Look at Keys, he's gone out super wide, but he won't turn in. He's tried for the transition. He's going grass tracking. Alex Keys is grass tracking his whole way through. Here. Going to get a good exit, but will he get done for track limits? Trying to come around the outside of Fraser McConnell. Fraser McConnell holding that inside line on the dirt. Round the long left-hander, where's Keats? Keats is on the standard lap. Fraser McConnell trying to catch up. Fraser goes super defensive.
In the grass, that's definitely track limits.
Keys is track limits, 100%. Sage Karam's pushing his luck out there. Fraser McConnell keeping it tight and tidy on the inside. Keys is going to come up the inside of Fraz, but he's not maybe going to find enough traction. So Fraser McConnell over what was a jump when we had any traction available here at Mid-Ohio. Keats is early on the brakes. Fraser McConnell's closing him down on the brakes, but watch for the exit here. Oh, they're both going to miss the apex. You need to be tight in on that bail. Trying to flick the car back the other way. Bucky, this is so hard. Or Keats is thrown off the track, and now McConnell's trying to find traction on it, but I actually think there might be more traction on the grass at this point.
Just have to search for it and not exceed track limits.
So yeah, we've seen basically McConnell has kept this within the track limits. Cole Keats has not. Keats, so interestingly, Keats...
I'm waiting to see something on screen. Nothing has popped up yet.
That's what we're looking for.
There's definitely a course cut.
We haven't seen anything so far about Keats in terms of even being under investigation. I think the stewards are still busy looking at semi-final 2 from ARX. Hooking a wheel off on the dirt on the inside, Cole Keats. Fraser McConnell trying to chase him down. Sage Karam is in 4th place. So as a look at the inside now, look at this. Now that's 100% track limits in the background. He didn't even try to come around the cone. So Keys for me, Keys is going to get a penalty buck. If he doesn't, I'll be absolutely staggered.
He's going to stack them up.
Piling them high. Sage Karam gone joker. Lap times are 1:24, 1:25. Big tyre stack in the middle of the road there. Karam punted that out of the way. Closing down now, Sage Karam onto the back of Fraser McConnell, having a look up the inside. Sage Karam, can he make this stick? Cole Keats is there too. They're literally crawling around this track, trying to find traction. Fraser McConnell up the inside of Keats. Keats runs wide. So Keats runs wide. Alex Keys is looking for a way through too. Sage Karam's on the grass, can't find any traction. Keys is up the inside of Keats. Oh, is he going to pick up on the brakes? He somehow finds some grip. So Alex Keys makes a move on Cole Keats. Sage Karam drops down. Still no investigation for track limits, but I'm sure something will come. But at the minute, Fraser McConnell in the lead. The championship winner, our champion for this year, is in the lead, and for me, he's the only guy who hasn't gone off track limits anyway, Bucky.
You're exactly right. Look at Sage now. Sage is hanging it out there. I mean, he's just trying to find a line that works to get him around the Keys, and he's got a good run on him here on the inside, and he makes it stick.
Tidily done. Sage Karam moves up another spot. He'd love to get past Fraser McConnell because he beat Fraz yesterday, but Fraz has beaten him 3 times this year. He goes out wide. Cole Keats keeps it on the inside. I think Keats hasn't gone track limits, has he? I think Keats has kept it relatively... No, he missed the tyre bail. He missed the tyre bail.
Turn 1. I mean, first lap.
Yeah, outside, wasn't it, at the bottom of the hill after the jump. So again, these guys all run wide. Who's going to get the traction this time? So Sage Karam into P2. Cole Keats drops down to P3, and Keats into the tyres. And then he gets collected by Alex Keys. So Alex Keys is on the gas.
He's still on the gas.
What's going on? What's Keys doing? So Keys has pushed Keats all the way around. He's actually helped him out, to be fair, but
yeah, he has.
Crazy move. Fraser McConnell out front, holding on for dear life. He's got another couple of laps to go. Oh my goodness me, we have had it all. Is that Lane Michaela that's caught up? Lane Michaela's caught up with these two. Go on, Lane. So Lane Michaela would love a result here. Michael Leach at the back. We're still not seeing any investigations for this final, which is pretty incredible, but maybe the stewards, maybe they've gone with our rule, Bucky, of track limits.
I haven't seen Lane, but maybe Lane's made a clean race and he's not going to get any penalties. Or maybe there's no penalties at all because I don't see anything on screen yet.
Sage Karam taking every alternative line in the book. Bucky, we drove round to our commentary position earlier on a tarmac track. There was rubber down, and it's super, super slippery. So they're trying, aren't they, alternative lines, desperately trying to find somewhere where there might be a bit of extra grip.
I mean, Fraz's input, he's turning the opposite way into a turn that he's entering. He's turning left to go right.
Oh, it's just so slippery. I know that the guys at Team Fraz up at their hairpin there, they're going to have their hearts absolutely in their mouths. Fraser McConnell, the champion. I think we saw his glove there reach up for the handbrake just to get the car turned in. Sage Karam behind. Sage has just made a mistake. That's going to give Fraser a little bit of breathing space. You'd think 2.7 was enough breathing space, but it's not. Okay, ARX 2 semi-final, so car 34. Semi-final 2, car 34. Tanner Faust. Tanner Faust has been given a 5-second penalty. So I think Faust has been dropped out of the final. So that's on our timing screens now. You're still looking at the last lap for ARX 2.
And Keys has just made a move on Keats.
Yeah, whole of the front end missing off his car. Fraser McConnell out front onto his last lap of the season. What a season it's been, but what a weekend this has been. The conditions have been absolutely horrendous.
In true championship form. No mistakes were made. He drove a clean race.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. You can just about see the Jamaican flag that he proudly flies over the entire car underneath the filth and mud which is across that car from top to bottom. Sage Karam now 4 seconds behind Keys and Keats. There's all sorts going on here. Fraser McConnell with just a couple of corners to go.
I've only seen Sage hit that chicane there one time really good where he got inside.
It's so tricky.
It just shows how inconsistent this track is.
Fraser McConnell, champion 2019. He won around here at Mid-Ohio, but he has earned this win in incredible style. It's a brilliant, clean victory for the 2019 ARX2 champion. Fraser McConnell takes his 5th win of the year in the most horrendous conditions. Sage Karam comes P2. Alex Keys looks like he's going to cross the line in 3rd place. He does indeed. So Alex Keys crosses the line to go through to the final, unless, sorry, to take P3. Oh, Fraser finally. The celebratory donuts from Fraser McConnell. Up in front of his family, up in front of Team Fraz. There it is. You can hear his family going mad. All that pressure into the gravel track. He's going to go and park it by the family. He's going to get out in front. There we go.
That's the shot we want.
Yeah, it is. That is what we want. Fraser McConnell gets out to go and greet his friends and his family. The Jamaican champion of 2019 has taken a brilliant win here in Mid-Ohio, and you know what that means to him. They throw the flag over to him. He's so proud of his heritage. He's a brilliant ambassador for this sport, a brilliant ambassador for Jamaica too. Fraz, congratulations. What a drive, Bucky. He earned that.
I'm soaking it up right now. I'm almost teared up.
I'm feeling pretty emotional. That's yeah, look at what it means. He won't leave it. He won't leave it. That's the championship moment. That's how you win a championship.
Good on you, mate. Big up Jamaica. Yeah, Fraz.
Fantastic job. Fraser McConnell takes a win in horrendous conditions at Mid-Ohio. Brilliant drive, no mistakes, no track limits, no investigations for Fraz. Just a fantastic win in front of Sage Karam, Alex Keys, Cole Keats, Michael Leach, and Lane Vakela. So here's a look back at the start. Fraz got a good start. We've seen that pole spot isn't very good. Sage Karam coming around the outside of the pack. 4 cars going straight to the Joker. Fraz here, look, drops back. Keats is alongside him almost. He just holds on to P2, but Keats dropped it at the bottom of the hill. Now Keats here, Bucky cuts the course and comes back on. He got a 5-second penalty for that. We've just seen on our timing screens. But I think the thing for me here was about Fraz was the fact he did nothing wrong. Everybody else really pushed the limits of the rule book in this, and Fraz didn't, and he still won.
He showed great composure. He showed that he has the skills to put this car where he wants it and win the championship overall.
Awesome, absolutely awesome drive. All sorts of lines being tried in this, desperate to try and see if there was any way through. Tyre bales being punted on the track, back off the track. Wow. What a mess, but what a brilliant, brilliant drive. Fraser McConnell holding on out front. That was Keys sticking Keats in and then keeping the boot in. I was staggered at that, Bucky. If you turn them both around. Awesome job, Fraser McConnell. I think we're going to see a very emotional young man, the 2019 ARX2 champion.
So Fraz is still getting his gear off here, but he did a whole victory lap with the Jamaican flag, went up to his family on the hill. It must be really special with all of them here.
I mean, this is as special as it can get. I mean, you guys already know. I mean, this is where I got my first Rallycross win. This is where we ended the championship winning it. So, I mean, you know, I'm lost for words right now. My feelings are through the roof. Today, this weekend wasn't our best. Kind of a repeat of last time we were here, but yeah, I was struggling all day. The hats off to the DRR guys. They were fast. It was a really competitive field. But, I mean, I don't know what to say about Dirtfish. OMSC came on to give us support. Sandals came on board. And that's what this package gives us. It's a victory.
You locked up the championship earlier today, but it must have felt good to end the season with a high note on a win.
Of course, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better finish of the year. Winning the qualifying round, sealing championship off. We ended 4th. I mean, I didn't really want to end the day like that, so I put my head down and focused as hard as I could. The team backed me, all the Ericssons. I can't be more thankful. I'm happy right now.
Good. Well, you should be happy. Go celebrate tonight.
Yes, thank you guys.
Fantastic. What a job, Fraser McConnell. That's great. His little lump in the throat for
great job,
bucking.
Fraser.
Good job, Fraser.
Good job.
But seriously, like, he's such a nice. All the competitors are lovely, but Fraz and his family have been a rare sunshine for this, haven't they? Coming from Jamaica,
They're just the vibe, you know.
Yeah.
It's they have the passion.
They do.
And you see it, and
but he's put the work in too, like for last year. You remember we loved watching him last year. You remember coaches, because he was like sending it everywhere, and it's great. And this year he's coming and gone, that doesn't work, I need to do this. This doesn't work, I need to do that. He did the championship job this week, and he obviously hated not getting a good result. He's like, I have to give this up. And then he does that.
But he played the game, you know. He played the game. He did what he had to do. He collected the points. He became champion, like a champion does.
Yeah, and then put in a champion's drive. I mean, that's. I don't think we'll see a better drive today. I'll be stunned if one of the Supercar drivers does a better drive than that. I mean, it was textbook.
Yeah, it was true form,
Fantastic. I think that's Conor Martell has gone up to stand up with the McConnell family at the top of the hill. But Fraser McConnell is the champion of ARX2, taking over from Conor Martell, last year's champion. Cole Keats in P2, Conor Martell in P3. And Martell, props for getting 3rd in the championship because he missed rounds at the start of this year. It's Keys, Ledbetter, Karam, DeBerti and Michael Leach. Your top 8 for 2019. Right, one race left to go. Supercar time. And I have to say I'm really disappointed to see that Tanner Faust has been given 2 penalties for track limits and consequently isn't going to be in the final, which is a shame. Not to have the champion in the last final of the year, I think is a real shame, Bucky.
Well, yeah, because he's been kind of holding back and he hasn't been able to set himself free like we just saw Fraz do.
We didn't see, well, I'll tell you what, we need to see the rest of the grid ourselves. Atkinson is in the pre-grid, so I'm assuming Atco's moves were deemed to be okay. The penalties have gone up so quickly. Oh, wow, we're seeing 5-second penalties everywhere in that ARX2 final, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. So we got 1 for 55, which was Michaela. We got 1 for 09, which was Leach. 1 for 53, which was Keats. So, let me see, that wouldn't have dropped Keats back far enough, so Keys got that place anyway. Looking back for the ARX semi-finals, the contact was under investigation still for semi-final 2, so yeah, semi-final numbers 21, 5, so, there's just too much going on the timing screen. There are so many things coming through. But say Tanner Faust has been given penalty, meaning that he isn't going to make it through, and they haven't brought the Beetle round. But do you know what? It doesn't matter, because he's got what he wanted, which is he wanted to be America's Rallycross champion 2019, and he's got that. He's got the big trophy. He wins the championship.
Earned it.
Yeah, and he got it done before. Do you know what? In fact, he's probably going to save the team a bunch of hassle by not sending the car out in this one.
Yeah, he kept a pretty clean car all weekend.
Yeah, this could be carnage. This could be carnage. So in the back of the grid shot to the right there, you can just see Yoni Weeman pulling up. See Atkinson's on the front row with Sandell. 4 Subarus in here. Oh, they'd love to take a podium clean sweep, wouldn't they? But Arpin is not going to make that easy for them. And Pecoy's going to go all in, we know that. Pecoy's car, they've just about had time to clean off a couple of the sponsors. This is it then. It's the last race of 2019, the final of round 6 of America's Rallycross, the Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio. It's an all-Subaru front row, Patrick Sandell and Chris Atkinson. They were fighting for the championship, now they're fighting for P2. Backward is on the second row with Steve Arpin, who's desperate to take a win this season. And bringing up the rear, Jonny Weeman and Travis Pecoy. No Tanner Faust due to a penalty in the semi-finals. Here we go. 6 more laps. Super slippery conditions. Are we going to see a new winner? Are we going to see another double winner? Are we going to get a podium clean sweep for Subaru or the dream win for Arpin? We're about to find out. Oh, it's so slippery off the line. Backwards for Sandell. He's gone absolutely nowhere. Atco. Travis Pecoy's come up from P6 into 3rd. So it's Atco out front. It's Weeman in P2. Pecoy's into the back of Weeman. Weeman runs wide. Pecoy goes Joker. 3 of the cars go Joker. Weeman's into the side of Pecoy. Pecoy's going to run over the grass. He's in the gravel trap. 600 horsepower. 4-wheel drive. Put him out of there. No problem. Arpin on the inside. He's going to get the whole shot of the standard lap. He's got Baccarat in his door, though. Oh, Pecoy slots back in. Weeman goes into 5th place. Sandell's gone from P1 to P6, Bucky.
What a big drop for Sandell, and he's going to get a screen full of mud right now. Right now, I'm liking Arpin and Pecoy. Pecoy made some good moves.
Oh, it's so slippery. Pecoy, look, just spears his way through. He might get in trouble with that. Weeman drops back. Sandell picks up 2 places. Atkinson leads from Arpin. Baccarat is in P3. Sandell is in P4. Weeman up the inside of Travis Pecoy. So Pecoy's trying really hard. I mean, he's got the car by the scruff of the neck. He has a look up the inside. Pecoy past Weeman just with a gun of the throttle of that bit. Now Weeman's back up the inside of Pecoy. Sandell sideways. He's got him back. Weeman's got Pecoy. Pecoy going to go wide, try for the undercut. Weeman's on the inside. He can't get into turning. Pecoy's lost out. Sandell! Sandell's at a standstill. Patrick Sandell is stopped on the track. Weeman lets him go. Pecoy almost at a standstill too, and that has spread the field out massively. So what's happened to Patrick Sandell? Is the car okay? Atkinson leading from Andreas Baccarat around the outside. Steve Arpin, you've just since gone Joker. So Steve Arpin goes round the Joker. He's going to come in, try and get in front of Andreas Baccarat. He does, so Steve Arpin has got Baccarat. Arpin up to P2.
Yeah, Arpin, he's got a clean line right here. Baccarat's going to try to keep clear his screen so he can see. He's doing a good job, though. He can see. He's getting that car in there. He's got a fight right there.
He's on the inside of Arpin. Baccarat's going to get Arpin on the run down the hill. Somehow found some traction. Moves across on Arpin. Arpin, don't rub him too hard. You don't want to break the car. Steve Arpin chasing Baccarat. Looks up the inside. Hits the tyre bale. Arpin has joken and Baccarat hasn't. He can afford to let Baccarat go here, but not if he wants to win. He wants to chase Atco down. He could have done without Baccarat getting through.
Yeah, Arpin is being held up right now big time. It's going to cost him in time. It may cost him a position to Sandell.
Arpin's car looks good, doesn't it? It's looked good, to be honest, most of the day. Even in these changeable conditions, Arpin's had a reasonable car underneath him. He's got Andreas Baccarat in front of him now. Chris Atkinson out front. I wonder if Atkinson might be able to do enough. I think there's a pass in the background.
There is a
side
pass.
by side again. Arpin's got past Baccarat. So Arpin got past Baccarat. You just saw it. Sandell is still there. Patrick Sandell, the yellow strip across the top of his windshield. He's still in this one. It's just, the conditions are outrageous. So can Arpin do anything about Chris Atkinson out in front of him? His last lap was 3 seconds slower. Oh, that's it, Baccarat. So Baccarat's got a problem as Baccarat moves over. Sandell and Weeman both come past. I think Andreas Baccarat's race might be over here. Or has he just made a mistake? It's so hard to tell. He can't see. He cannot see anything, Bucky. Look at that. He literally can't see anything. Andreas Baccarat, the World Championship star, look at this. He can't see a thing. So Baccarat, he won't want to damage the Subaru. That's assuming there isn't something wrong with it already. But Weeman, Sandell chasing down Arpin, and Chris Atkinson, and now has a 6.9 second lead for Atco. Arpin's doing well here. He's trying to find the traction. Baccarat has pulled off in front of the commentary position. Andreas Baccarat is out of this one. He's pulled off at the bottom of the hill. There he is. Disappointing for the Norwegian Rallycross superstar. He'll fight for the World Championship later this month down in Cape Town. Atkinson with a clean screen and with no, look how far back they are. Arpin now going to come under a bit of pressure from Sandell. Remember, these guys, these three, Atco, Arpin and Sandell, are racing for P2 and P3 in America's Rallycross 2019. So these positions mean a lot to these guys. We have no idea what the points permutations will be. We've dropped contact between Weeman and Pecoy under investigation. That doesn't really matter for us. They're dropping back Sandell up the inside of Arpin. The Subaru's got great traction out there. Arpin's giving him too much contact. Too much contact there for me. Is that broken Sandell's car, the rear left? Is it? I can't see if Sandel's car was broken. There was a lot of contact there, Bucky.
It looked a little dancy on the entry of the braking zone, but...
It is. The wheel's off. No, it's not. Sorry, I thought it was. It was the mud flap. I thought the wheel was off for a second. It looked like it was too sideways, but the car looks good. Sandel's car looks good.
That was amazing for Arpin to hold off Sandel there.
Was it too much contact, though? You know, he was fully in his door the whole way down the hill. I mean, it was brave.
He drove in. I mean, he kind of drove into him, but Sandel was beside him, wasn't quite past him, so was he defending the position?
Might as well just crack on and just have a go, might you? Last round of the year, the penalties don't really matter, just send it and see. 2 laps still to go, 2.5 laps still to go. Arpin, Sandel, Weeman. I don't think Weeman's even going to make an attempt on Sandel, is he? Because they won't be able to figure out just how tight the points are. 5-second penalty for Picoy, been given out already. Look at that. Sandel's right in on the inside. He's going to have another look. Sandel's going to try and find the traction. Arpin's going to try and shut the door again. The crowd are cheering for how close these guys are down that back straight. Sandel's going to go wide this time, try and get the undercut on Arpin on the exit from the second to last corner.
Not able to pull it off.
So close.
Had to file in line beside those tire barrels.
So Arpin has figured out, hasn't he, that Sandel's main point of strength is on that back straight. Sandel can find extra traction as they come onto it. They're onto the last lap. Chris Atkinson is miles out in front, and he might even be able to take P2 in the championship here. We'll have to see the standings at the end. All about the win, though, at the minute. There it is. Look at it. You can see that classic Subaru blue livery on Atco's car. And he's just about the only livery we can see in this one. He managed to steer clear of the mud. He's out front. Half a lap to go for Atco. What's happening behind him? There we go. Arpin still holding on from Sandel. Into the joker lap for Weeman. Weeman's going to slot back in. So Weeman slots in to 4th place, I think it is. Atco sideways in front of our commentary position. He's coming down the back straight now. Weeman, sorry, it's Weeman who's up behind. It's Weeman who's up behind Arpin. So it must have been Sandel in the joker. Atkinson, though, is going to take the last round of ARX 2019. He's the 2nd double winner this year. Subaru take the final win of the year. P2 going to go to Steve Arpin. Yoni Weeman is right behind. And Sandel comes through for 4th. Atco with the victory donuts. A well-earned win in those tricky conditions. Oh, wow, what a way to finish a season.
Smoking.
Sandel going for donuts around Atkinson's car. That's a proper celebration, look. Using up some of the grass here at Mid-Ohio. Sandel, go on, lad. Big donuts round his teammate. Might as well, why not? Why not? Final wastegate dump of the year, you heard just in the background there. Atco gets out of the car. Onto the roof. Takes the big W at the end of the season. Might be enough to stick him up into 2nd in the standings. We'll find out soon enough. Thumbs up from the guys sitting on the back of the pickup trucks at the side of the track. Great job, Chris Atkinson.
What a race. We got some celebratory donuts going in the background there as well from
Picoy, I think it is, yeah. Here's the result then of the last round of America's Rallycross 2019. Chris Atkinson takes it from Steve Arpin and Yoni Weeman. Sandel was 4th, Picoy 5th, Andreas Backrud a DNF. He could not see where he was going.
Can't be happy with that. He got roughed up by 2 or 3 of the team Subarus. Still managed to bring it home again.
Atkinson rolling back to the paddock.
Wow.
Job done.
Look at that clean screen.
He'll be pleased with that. It's contract renegotiation time, you know. Double winner this year. Got it done in those conditions.
He beat the hired guns.
Yeah. Have to feel sorry for all the pole men, I think, in semi-finals and final, because that #1 slot on the grid, which, you know, Atana made such good use of during the qualifying stages, was just so slippery. Nobody got a good start from P1. Nobody. There you go. Perfect example. Sandel on the pole. P1 to P6, 100 yards on the start. That was Weeman getting into the side of Picoy. Picoy got a 5-second penalty for cutting the course. Arpin managing to slot into 2nd place. At this point, Sandel was completely at the back. Look, Atkinson out front. Basically, Atkinson was pretty much lights to flag.
There, McCoy got caught at the wrong angle by Weeman. Got turned the wrong way. Really cost him a couple of spots.
Weeman's just been given a 5-second penalty as well. So whether or not that's going to put Sandell onto the podium, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Look at that, Pico into the tyre barrier. Sandell at a standstill, gets collected there by Weeman. Weeman lets him go. He has to, obviously. Sandell in that fight for the podium spots. Side by side with Arpin and Baccarat. This was Baccarat getting the best of Steve Arpin. But look at Baccarat's screen, and Bucky, it only got worse.
Yeah, it didn't get any better from there. He eventually had to slow down and part ways.
Arpin still out front at this point. Baccarat now, you can see, has had to pull off to the side of the track. He knows the others are coming. He knows he can't even see to hit the brakes, to hit the apexes. This was Sandell versus Arpin. I think Arpin, to be fair, was further in front than I thought he was. He holds on to the position. Sandell at this point, I thought the rear of the car was broken because of the way it backed in, but it's just him backing it in rally style. The win for Atkinson at the last round, a big old double drift over the line. Great stuff. So, I mean, that was a wild, wild ride for the end of the season. Maybe a little bit too wet.
I'm glad you're a fast talker.
Thanks, dude. I'm glad you've been here all season. It's been a blast. Thanks
for having me.
It's been great fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home as well. So, okay, so we've had a couple of penalties come in. They're still coming in thick and fast on the screens. It was inevitable in these conditions. Let's take a look. Here we go. So we've got a new race result thanks to those penalties. Here we go then, the result of the final round of America's Rallycross 2019. Atkinson takes the win. Okay, sorry, it's not right. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
That's what it was.
That's what it was. That was
now we're going to show you
now
what
we're going to get the result. It's like a slow reveal. You guys can just enjoy the suspense at home while me and Bucky just lean back here. We're slightly done now, aren't we?
It's raining.
Yeah.
We got to patiently wait
Stick
as well.
a fork in me. I'm done. Like it was a great season. It's been a blast. The sun's out. I think the barbecue's going to be out. I'm almost certain the Jamaican alcohol is going to be out. I think Tanner Faust might even be. Yeah, we might be able to play Tanner to join us for a drink. Didn't make the final. Disappointed for Tanner, not Tim in the final. Would have liked to have seen him in that final. I think he was excelling in those conditions. We think the penalty, the 5-second penalty that's coming for Weeman, is going to drop him out and down into 4th place, put Patrick Sandell onto the podium. We'll see. Picoy down in 5th place. Baccarat. I mean, Baccarat couldn't see anything, could he?
No, it sucks for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because like I said earlier, if he has a hole, not only can he see through it, he'll put a freaking whole car through it.
He will. He did it at Kota, didn't he? He did it at turn 1 in Kota. It was a great move by Baccarat on Faust. They had such a good fight. We've seen some great racing here. Yeah, okay, the semi-finals and the finals were a bit slower than normally, but there you go. That's what happens when it rains in Rallycross. This is quite a hilly track as well. You know, a flat gravel track is not so tricky to drive them, but every single gravel corner here has camber in it, and it's just a nightmare.
Some off camber.
Yeah, super slippery. The drivers will be heading down to the Cooper Tires podium. You can see it bottom left of your screen.
You see Life Motorsports there?
Yeah, those are the guys who run the Sierra cars.
That's where Zach's going to fire up the grill.
Yeah, is that where we're going?
Yeah, that's our spot.
Okay, there could be some barbecue incoming. Oh, man.
Got to thank Cooper Tires for hanging in there.
I think we have. Yeah, well done, Cooper Tires, well, for providing finding some grip out there. Been the control tyre this whole season. Cooper Tires, ARX of Mid-Ohio as well. Fantastic to have them along as a series partner, and they're a brilliant supplier of Rallycross boots, Rallycross tyres, and all sorts of tyres. They've got a ton of stuff down on the podium as well, so we're going to be able to head down there very shortly and hand out some trophies. There we are, clean-up time. That's Gray Ledbetter's car. Look at that car park, Bucky. That is already an absolute quagmire.
Yeah, it's a mess over there. Look at all that dirt.
Good old cleanup going on.
These guys got a little bit of a drive ahead of them.
Yeah. Jet wash the entire of the inside and the outside, pretty much. I think you might even be up for jet washing the cockpit. Seen plenty of drivers today who've had their #1 engineers drying off their feet and things as well. So, okay, right, we've got a clarification of the result for ARX Supercar. Well, here we go then. Here's the result for the final round of America's Rallycross 2019. Chris Atkinson takes it from Steve Arpin and Patrick Sandell. Yoni Weeman given a 5-second penalty for an incident in the final. Travis Pecoy gets 5th place, and Andreas Backwood is a DNF. Final. That was the final of the final round, and that's the final version of the final results, hopefully.
Final answer.
What should we do tonight?
I wouldn't mind a little nap.
I'm tired. I am tired.
Long day.
We were out here for COTA. Some of us stayed, some of us went home. I was in the crew that went home and then came back out again. It's been a crazy week finishing off America's Rallycross, but it's been good fun. It's been a great fun season. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We're waiting on some podiums. Is there any more rain in the distance? Look, you can see. I mean, that was the rain today. We were expecting just a little. There was like a 40% chance of some good old English drizzle. And actually, Bucky, it rained pretty hard overnight. Like, it didn't seem wet on the way in this morning, did it? For me, it was like there'd been a rain shower overnight. But when we got here, the track was just so wet.
Yeah, that happens when we use the natural dirt and we don't bring in gravel. It's a little bit more expensive to bring in gravel, but it kind of pays when you have situations like the weather.
That was crazy wet. The track was well prepared. They put Dust X on it as well, and Dust X was what we needed yesterday because it was dry and hot, but what a change in conditions between the 2 days. Cooper Tires girls are up on the podium as our podium man. He's going to be handing out microphones to our local announcer. We did the draw down there a couple of days ago to decide where the drivers would be starting for these last couple of races of the season. Photographers down the front, look, you can see they're all good to go. I think that's James. James down the front as well. He must be somewhere down there. Alex Keys up onto the podium for P3. 2 podiums for Alex Keys this weekend, and problems on both days, so well done to him. Sage Karam gets P2, but it's the champion McConnell up onto the podium. Sage Karam shakes hands with Karam. Got him yesterday and he got him in some style, but I tell you what, McConnell got them all today. That final drive was clean.
Head down. He put the power down. He drove his lines. He drove his race. And he won his championship.
Look at that. It's a big sigh of relief. We know he's waiting on the other trophy, but that one's going to go with the way. He's got 5 of those now. First win here earlier this year. He took round 2 at Mid-Ohio. Retired from the final in round 1 with broken steering, having clipped the tyres in the last corner. Gateway didn't make it to the final. He was second at the second round in Gateway. He won Canada, the second one at Canada. He won the single header at COTA. Yesterday didn't go his way, just had a championship job to do, but he won again today. And I think he's about to get a fair old champagne shower. Look at the smile. I loved it when he pulled over to the family, Bucky. That was a great moment.
Yeah, I got choked up.
Can't beat the emotion of a good bit of sport. Sage, straight over, look. That's great to see, because the start of this year, Sage Karam and Fraser McConnell had such a feisty fight here that actually they were not best friends. Like that was clear. But as the weekend went on, they kind of, I don't know. I think Karam was like, okay, actually, I think we can be buddies. We're doing the same thing here. There was the respect grew between them. Fraser retired from the one race, and he's beaten him at the 3 occasions. Then Sage got the monkey off his back yesterday. Great stuff.
Yeah, I think it pays to. We have to pay attention to the just the etiquette that they carry outside of the car. You know, and these young guys, they're in these RX2 cars, and yeah, they want to come out and they want to bang and they want to win.
Yeah.
But it's special to see that they can still get along outside the car.
Yeah, it's great. I say, good relationship between those guys. Now, look at this. You can see how dark it is in here. It's because of how light it is out there. The sun is fully out now here. at Mid-Ohio. It's a completely different day again. But yeah, great stuff. Obviously a good relationship between Cameron and McConnell now. I like the fact that the first thing he did was go across and give McConnell the champagne shower. Great job by Fraz, because that's right. You know, we kind of knew he was having a rough weekend, but to get it done like that in the final is amazing.
Yeah, it was picture perfect. He played it smart. You know, we wanted to see him race a little bit harder, you know, in the previous race, yesterday's race, but you know, he did what he had to do, and he had a lot of responsibility on his shoulders.
Yeah. Job done. Job done for the family, for Jamaica, and for all his sponsors as well. So Fraser McConnell winning the championship. We're going to see a championship podium as well shortly. We're waiting on the reset in the podium, I think, for the drivers in ARX Supercar. Podium's just kind of over there. We're a fair old way off. There it is. That's where the podium is. Bottom left of your corner. There's the tower. We've had guests in there this weekend, soaking up the atmosphere. It's a great track, I have to say, Mid-Ohio. The sports car course is epic. I'd love to see a rallycross car do a full lap of this place.
I see Steve and the guys and Richie over there in the RV behind
they are.
the tower.
That's the TV truck. So, yeah, the left leg of the tower under the Coubertage branding, that's the white TV truck. Yeah, so the guys are in there. And a big thank you to the TV team. We are a very small team of people. It's a mixture of some of the guys who come across from the World Rallycross Championship, Richie, Steve, graphics operators as well. We've had Andrew Oates out for a couple of events this year.
Just a bunch of guys in a truck with all their iPhones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just doing it all on their iPhones.
Yeah, pretty much. We've had our American friends with us as well from the production company and some others too. So thank you to everyone involved on the TV team and the organisation team as well. Who's James with now?
Atco, ups and downs this season, but it must feel good to end the season with an outright win.
Mate, it feels a little bit better than good. That's it's almost surreal. Like, we had such a tough weekend and we were on the bad side of the qualifiers, and then the rain came down, Subaru all-wheel drive, blew, kicked a ass. The car was so easy to drive in those conditions, and we just pulled away from them. It was sick.
It's great to see you so happy and smiling. I've seen the opposite when it doesn't go your way, but you know, what a great way to end the season.
Mate, we all like winning, don't we? So yeah, when we're not winning, it's not as fun. But it's 2 wins for the year. Yeah, we didn't get the championship, and hats off to Tanner for doing a great job in the championship, and obviously tremendous bad luck for Scott with his injury. But that's 4 wins out of 6 for Subaru this year. So best season ever. I guess we're second and third in the championship as well. So just hats off to the team. They did a great job. The car was impeccable all day, and came pressure time, and I felt like we were driving so slowly out there. You know, you were just tiptoeing around, and then Dan's on the spotter. He's calling out 4-second gap, 5-second gap, 6-second gap, and I was like, sweet, just don't mess it up.
Yeah, well, you've taken second in the championship as well, so we're going to go back to Andrew and Bucky, and they'll walk you through that.
Second place in the championship of Chris Atkinson, and I love that. Mate. There's a gap going up on every single lap. That must have been, nobody's saying don't mess it up, and that's the thing in those conditions. You just like, oh no, like you just want to get to the flag.
No risk taken.
Yeah,
just drive a clean race.
And job done, and Nick's P2 as well, so he was 2 points behind Sandell. There were 17 and 19 points off Tanner, as he said. Hats off to Tanner. Tanner Faust wins the championship, but Subaru 4 wins out of 6, and 2 of those, of course, have gone to Chris Atkinson. So, in fact, he's the only Subaru driver to have won twice. And we did miss seeing Scott Speed here. I'd love to have seen that. I think the fight would have been super close between Scott and Tanner if Scott hadn't been injured for the latter half of the season. Would have been good fun. So, I'm not sure where we're headed next. I'm guessing we're going to be heading back down to the podium pretty shortly. So we've seen Chris Atkinson. He's been down there with James. Me and Bucky, what subject would you... We should have got you guys to tweet in,
if we can radio in and make sure we got a clear track on the way back to the
I don't know if I can handle a lap, Bucky, right now. Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe.
Okay, we're going to head down to the podium. Apparently the podium is good to go. So let's get down to the podium again.
ARX round 6, your third place finisher, Patrick Sandell.
So Sandell onto the podium, third place. Steve Arpin gets P2 here. That's a good result for Steve. I'm kind of sorry he didn't get himself a win, but that win is thoroughly deserved for Chris Atkinson. Yeah, gapped them on each lap. You can see as well the other guys are cool with it. So double win for Chris Atkinson this season. Got 1 at Gateway and 1 here.
Making the second place trophy presentation.
Now remember, you can win. You could bid to win on Arpin's race suit there.
You can
just
indeed.
go to his social media and...
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, isn't it, here out in the USA?
Yes.
And that's a brand new race suit, which, to be honest with you, consider how muddy it is today, he's managed to keep remarkably clean. So if you need a full-on, like FIA spec, USAC spec race suit because you want to go racing and you're up for wearing one of our pins, then you need to get amongst that. If not, if you just want to stick it in the wardrobe or stick it in a frame as a memento, it's a great cause, and that's what's important to remember. You might need a fire suit. Fire suits are expensive anyway. Go and bid on that one. You can get yourself the fire suit, and the money's going to go to a great cause. Well done to Steve Arpin.
It's going to smell a little like champagne, though.
Yeah, it might well do. There we go, champagne shower for Chris Atkinson. Double winner. And a first three, there we go. Hugs for the boys, great stuff. So P2, I think that's P2 and P3, I believe. We're not actually sure where Sandell is in the standings. I'll have the championship standings for you shortly, but good job, Atkinson.
Where's the big trophy?
The big trophy's coming. We're going to be handing out the big trophies. We're going to have another little race. We're going to be here a while. The podium bit takes quite a while for me and Bucket. You know, we have to go off pat here and just chat about whatever we want, really. We just kind of fill in until you get to see them pick up the big trophies. We hope that's cool.
I say we go live feed from wherever we can get, and we go do some hot laps on the Mid-Ohio course.
The full Mid-Ohio sports car course. Whose car? Anyone?
That one.
We get a thumbs up from Bucky's rental car's parked at the bottom of the stairs. We won't be using that, of course. That would be wholly inappropriate.
We would never do that.
So we have, so we're hearing that Subaru have tied up the teams championships. There has been a teams championship running in the background this year. Subaru have tied that up. We'd kind of expect that. They bought the most cars with them. They didn't have to nominate drivers. If you watch the World Championship, you'll know that you have to nominate the 2 drivers in your team. So we've seen Grönholm RX run 3 cars several times this year, GCK RX. So you have to nominate the 2 drivers who are going to score. That's not the case over here in America's Rallycross. It's your top 2 drivers. So Subaru tied up the manufacturer's title, and well done to them for that. I think pretty well earned. Shame about Scott Speed.
Big shame. You know, all the best to Scott.
Yeah. Here again this weekend.
He's here. He's here supporting the team as much as he can, lending his information that he has so well.
So you might just about be able to hear the local announcer in the background.
Yeah.
Connor Martell taking P3 in the standings, having missed the first 2 rounds here at Mid-Ohio. So Martell had to come here and learn the course. P2, Cole Keats, and Keats is the first person to applaud Fraser McConnell. Big hug for Fraser from Connor and from Cole as well. And they're getting given their medals by Cooper Tires, up on the Cooper Tires podium. There it is for Cole Keats.
And the gold medal to Fraser McConnell.
Bit of a laugh for Fraser. Cole was like, yes, I get the gold. There it is. A year's work done.
Big piece of iron for your new champion. Let's hear it for Fraser McConnell.
There she is.
Fraser McConnell, the 2019 ARX2 champion, ahead of Cole Keats and Connor Martell. Finally, he gets to race the big trophy, and I'm pretty sure he'll be raising a glass tonight. Well done, Fraser McConnell. 5 wins from 9 rounds to secure the title, and a brilliant job by Keats to take it to the final round. Also by Martell, having missed those first 2. What a season for these young drivers.
Great job by the Dirtfish crew. Wrenching on all these cars, you know, they supported Fraser the whole year, the whole season.
Yeah, they had Brad DeBerti in for a few rounds, didn't they?
Brad DeBerti is actually here. He's going to be doing some testing tomorrow.
Is he? Of course, yeah. So they've got a session tomorrow. We've got a bunch of young drivers from a whole bunch of different disciplines coming to try the ARX2 cars, and I imagine they're going to be hoping that when they're trying the ARX2 cars that it's going to be a little bit grippier than it was today. Because if your first ever test in a Rallycross car was in those conditions, you would not be loving it. There's Fraz, look, gets the Dirtfish hat on now. He's done the bit with the Cooper Tires hat. Gold meds as well. I'll be careful with that. Bucky nearly dropped it earlier. Then he found out what it was worth. That's great to see.
I would still have it. How much? If I would have known how much,
yeah,
that
you'd
was
have gone.
worth,
Yeah, he ran off yesterday.
it might have been a cardboard trophy right now he's holding up.
Fraser McConnell chucking the hats into the crowd. He won't be chucking that trophy in, though. Big gold medal and the big trophy. First Rallycross win, don't forget, he only took his first Rallycross win at the start of this season, here at Mid-Ohio, in fact. And he's gone on to win 5 out of 9, Bucky. And against, you know, OK, Sage and Co haven't been here all year, but he beat, yeah, exactly. He beat Connor Martell, you know, he's beaten Keats, he's beaten guys who've been in the cars a lot longer than him and has matured into a professional driver. I believe he might be doing some testing soon, so we're going to see where he ends up next year. I'd love to see him in a supercar.
I've seen him around the paddock of a couple supercar teams, I know that.
So, you never know. You never know where we'll see Fraser McConnell next year, but I know we're going to see him in Rallycross. That much is absolutely for sure. So, learning curve's going to be steep when he jumps up to Supercar, but we've seen what Pico and Bigham have done this year, and I'm sure we're going to see good results for McConnell as well. So you might have seen a spider just drop down across in front of the lens. There it is. I'm going to get him off. Let me get the spider off the camera. There he is. Come on, mate. You can't hang there. There we go. Spider cam. Spider cam has been fixed. There we go. It's all live here from ARX. All the good stuff. Here then are the final standings for America's Rallycross 2019. Tanner Faust, the champion. Chris Atkinson takes P2 with that win here at Mid-Ohio. And Patrick Sandell, P3. Arpin is 4th. Then it's Picoy, Speed, Bigham, and Andreas Backerud. Well, Tanner Faust hasn't had to do a lot since not making it through in the semi-finals. Not going to be quite as sweaty as these guys. Sandell back up there on the podium. 3rd in the race and 3rd in the championship. Atkinson, having taken the win today, gets P2 in the standings. Great result for him. But it's this man, Tanner Faust, who is the America's Rallycross champion 2019. All smiles despite not making it through to the final.
The silver medal goes to Chris Atkinson. Again, Oyasan making that presentation. And the gold medal to Tanner Faust.
Gold medal time for Tanner. Here it is.
And the final presentation, the big winner's trophy to Tanner Faust, your new champion.
So Tanner Faust about to pick up the big trophy. Oh, don't drop it, Tanner.
Yeah, it's heavy.
There it is. Faust is your 2019 ARX champion. A brilliant result for him. Started the season off a little rocky, but fought back in some style second half of the year. 2 wins for Tanner. And he takes the title here in Mid-Ohio. It's Atkinson 2nd and Sandell in 3rd. Champagne for the top 3. Some relief, and I'm sure a few more drinks later. The Cooper Tires girls are going to leave the stand as fast as they can. They've figured out what's going on here now. Tanner Faust last off the mark with a champagne. Gets a couple of shots in anyway. Job done. Good to see the guys all together as well. Look at Tanner. He's got champagne in the eyes. It is. Wait, guys, wait. Just give me a minute. There we go. That is stinging like mad. That is stinging like mad. Fantastic. There'll be some great shots there. Great battles between these guys all year long.
Tanner's one of my favorite drivers all around. He can wheel anything.
Absolutely. Super nice guy too.
He can drive it.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, seeing all these guys race hard and fair again next year. Brilliant stuff. Well, look, fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching at home. We really appreciate it. And all your interactions on social media and here in the paddock as well. It's always so nice to meet you and to hear that you've been watching and how much you enjoy it. We've loved bringing it to you. Big thanks to the TV team, the organisation teams, the various events we've been to and the fantastic welcome we've had all around the USA and up in Canada as well. James Rimmer, thank you, mate, representing all this year. Has done an absolutely brilliant job. And Bucky, too. It's a pleasure, mate, always.
Hey,
thank you
so much. For having me. And thanks to everyone on the team
and
all the fans out there. Make sure you hit us up on social media. We love to talk to you and reply.
Yeah, we do. Totally, guys. So, yeah, hit us up. Maybe not tonight. I think we might be going to have a beer tonight. But thank you so much. That's it for America's Rallycross 2019. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know on social media. And we'll see you guys next year. Thank you.